Anubis, the jackal of the afterlife. A jackal-headed figure stood at the gates of eternity. To the Egyptians, this was Anubis, the one who guided souls into the next world. Anubis emerged in Egypt's Old Kingdom, long before Osiris became the central god of the dead. He was believed to preside over embalming, protecting mummies from decay and thieves. But his most mysterious role came in the weighing of the heart. In this ritual, the heart of the deceased was balanced against the feather of Ma'at, symbol of truth. If the scales tipped wrongly, the soul was devoured by Emmet, a beast of destruction. Unlike gods of fire or war, Anubis represented precision and judgment, a silent figure watching the scales, ensuring justice beyond death. Ancient tomb paintings show him standing over golden scales, jackal face unmoving, while the fate of eternity hung in balance. For Egyptians, death was not chaos, it was a trial overseen by the god with a jackal's head, Thanatos, the gentle death. In Greek thought, death had many faces. One was violent, another chaotic, but Thanatos was different. He was the calm hand that closed your eyes when life slipped away. Thanatos was not feared like Hades, nor hated like the Furies. Instead, he embodied a peaceful passing, a transition rather than a torment. Hesiod's theogony describes him as a winged spirit, brother to Hypnos, the god of sleep. Together they represented the twin mysteries of rest and eternal silence. To the Greeks, Thanatos was not the executioner, but the escort. He came without cruelty, a shadow that guided the dying into the underworld. Artists depicted him as a quiet youth holding a reversed torch, flame pointing downward, symbolizing life extinguished without violence. In a world where battles and plagues could strike at any moment, Thanatos offered a paradox, the idea that even death could be gentle. His presence reminded mortals that not all endings were agony. Some were as natural as drifting into sleep. Hades, lord of the underworld. Beneath the earth, in a realm of shadows, ruled Hades, a god often misunderstood as death itself. In truth, he was the sovereign of the dead, not the executioner. In Greek mythology, Hades inherited the underworld after the Olympians divided the cosmos. Zeus ruled the sky, Poseidon the sea, and Hades the unseen depths below. His kingdom was guarded by Cerberus, the three-headed hound, and crossed by the river Styx, where souls paid Charon the ferryman. Unlike his brothers, Hades was rarely worshipped in open temples. Instead, offerings were whispered in secrecy, as mortals feared even speaking his name. Hades embodied inevitability. He was not cruel, but absolute, the keeper of wealth beneath the soil, both in minerals and in human lives. Ancient vase paintings show him enthroned, robed in black, a scepter in hand, while Persephone sat beside him, queen of the underworld. To the Greeks, Hades was a reminder, no matter one's glory in life, all paths led to his silent realm. Hel, the silent queen of the north. In Norse mythology, the dead did not all go to Valhalla. Many journeyed instead to a cold, mist-shrouded realm ruled by Hel, the daughter of Loki. Hel's appearance was unsettling, described in sagas as half-living, half-dead. One side of her body was beautiful, the other pale and corpse-like. This duality made her the perfect ruler of those who died ordinary deaths, the sick, the elderly, or those without glory in battle. Unlike Odin's Hall of Warriors, Hel's domain, simply called Hel, was a land of shadows where souls lingered without honor or torment. Her role was not to punish, but to keep. The Norse feared her cold impartiality. Once you entered Hel's realm, there was no return. Archaeological finds of Viking burials suggest a belief in her silent governance, where gifts and weapons were buried alongside the dead as offerings for the journey. Hel was not chaos, but inevitability, the half-living queen who reminded every Viking that not all destinies ended in glory. Many would find themselves in her quiet, endless halls. Mictlantecuhtli, lord of the Aztec underworld. Far from Europe, in the heart of Mesoamerica, the Aztecs believed in Mictlantecuhtli, the skeletal lord of Mictlan, the deepest level of the underworld. Depicted with a skull face, empty eyes, and bones adorned with obsidian ornaments, Mictlantecuhtli was not a figure of comfort. He and his consort Mictlantecuhtli ruled over the realm where most souls journeyed after death.
Unlike Norse Valhalla or Greek Elysium, the Aztec afterlife was not about reward, it was about endurance. According to codices, the dead traveled through 9 treacherous layers before reaching his domain, mountains crashing together, icy winds, and rivers filled with obsidian blades. Only after years of trials did they stand before Mictlantecuhtli, who welcomed them with his skeletal grin. His image appeared in temples and on murals, reminding the living that death was not escape, but transformation. Priests wore skull masks in his honor during rituals, echoing the god's eternal presence. In the Aztec worldview, Mictlantecuhtli embodied the inescapable truth. No matter how mighty the empire, every heart would one day belong to the Lord of Bones. Shinigami, spirits of death in Japan. In Japanese folklore, death was not ruled by a single god, but by mysterious beings known as Shinigami, death spirits. Unlike Anubis or Hades, the Shinigami were not ancient deities with temples. They appeared in Edo period texts and plays, reflecting evolving ideas of mortality. Some described them as shadowy figures that whispered to the weary, urging them towards death. Others saw them as guides who led souls into the afterlife, similar to Thanatos in Greece. Their role was ambiguous. Were they demons dragging humans to their end, or compassionate escorts releasing suffering? Folktales often portrayed them as invisible presences that could linger in places of despair, lonely roads, abandoned houses, or battlefields. In kabuki theater, the Shinigami were depicted as eerie figures cloaked in black, embodying both fear and inevitability. What made them strange was their duality. The Shinigami could be terrifying yet merciful, feared yet accepted. They reflected a uniquely Japanese view that death is not only an ending, but also an inseparable companion of life itself, waiting quietly beside us all. Yama, judge of the dead. Across India and Tibet, death was not a faceless void, but a courtroom, and Yama was its judge. Yama first appears in the Vedic texts as the very first mortal to die. By crossing into the unknown, he became ruler of the departed. Over centuries, his image transformed into that of a powerful deity who presided over the destinies of souls. In Hindu belief, Yama sits upon a throne, aided by scribes who record every deed of the living. When death arrives, the soul is brought before him for judgment. In Tibetan Buddhism, Yama is envisioned with a fearsome buffalo head, holding the wheel of life, a cosmic reminder that all beings are bound to birth, death, and rebirth. His terrifying form was not meant to horrify, but to awaken spiritual responsibility. What made Yama unique was his role as arbiter. He did not simply collect souls, he decided their next path. Heaven, rebirth, or punishment, all were weighed in his eternal court. For millions across Asia, Yama remains the reminder that death is not escape, but accountability. Santa Muerte, the saint of death. In modern Mexico, death is not only remembered, but it is worshipped. Santa Muerte, Holy Death, is a skeletal figure venerated by millions today. Her origins lie in both Catholic tradition and pre-Columbian beliefs, blending the Grim Reaper's image with echoes of Aztec deities like Mictlantecuhtli. Unlike official saints, the church does not recognize her, yet her cult grows in secret shrines, street altars, and private homes. Devotees see her as a protector, a bringer of justice, and a guide through life's dangers. Her presence is not confined to the past. Candles, statues, and murals of Santa Muerte still glow across Mexico and beyond. She is a living reminder that death is not only feared, but also embraced as a powerful, sacred ally.